Well, here I am. Welcome to Gem Collectors with Shawn. I am Shawn. And again, for those of you that might have missed my well wishes last week, Happy New Year to all of you, and hoping you got through all the holidays. Now, you know, if you don't see it in the news, you're going to hear it in my voice. Excitement, because there is snow coming. I mean, now, I've noticed them reduce the number of inches of snow, but it doesn't matter. If 1 inch is forecast for Georgia, North Georgia, Atlanta area, then, you know, boy, I tell you what, it's a rush to the grocery store and everyone gets excited and schools start closing and whatnot. So as it looks, there may be some ice with it, all coming in Friday, tomorrow. But thank goodness today is Thursday. We're getting this show in so that you can see it Monday. And I'm excited because snow is just another, it's not the ground up, it's the sky down form of geology. Yes, snow is geology with a side order of chemistry to go along with it. Because of course we know that snow is water, water is steam. Between, you know, water is one of those that goes through the 3 phases. So remember, this will help you actually think about a 3-phase inclusion. And what that means is you start off with a gas, okay? So a gas creates a air bubble, let's say, an air bubble within a crystal. Well, if in the process of that crystal forming, it didn't, let's say, use up, like in the form of quartz, it didn't use up all of the silica water. And as the bubble was of gas was trapped, so was trapped fluid. The water was trapped. And if in the process of those 2 events happening, that you get some, like in Herkimer diamonds, which are quartz crystals, or many other different types and forms of quartz. A mineral called anthraxolite, or you could just pretty much say carbon. So if you get a solid, like a carbon involved in the liquid that is within the gas bubble, all 3 phases of liquid, solid, and gas. That's what the world is made up of, those 3. And hence the 3-phase inclusion and the terminology of that. So that's where, you know, you have the emerald inclusions are well known to have 3-phase inclusions, and they're neat when you do see another type of mineral floating in the water that's sloshing back and forth in hydro bubble. Very cool indeed. So with snow, you get to see the other form of water that we always, you know, I think about it. If you're in South Florida, how many times do you actually, unless it's in your, you know, margarita and you're making ice, other than that, for Mother Nature to form, you know, you can easily see steam. Steam often will rise off of, I know, a Florida black pavement after a rain shower. Yeah. And I know all of you, anybody been in Florida or even in Georgia, a hot pavement and then a quick rain shower over the top of it. What do you see coming away from it? Steam. Yeah, steam can be viewed. Also, clouds is a form of water vapor, more so than true steam. But you get to see 2 phases. So to get to see the third, Mother Nature frozen, doesn't happen in all the places, you know? So for the same reason why, whether it be a pet or a human, for the first time that they've seen snow is a very memorable experience. And I don't know, there's something about it. It should send humankind have a natural fear of it, like the fires. Bless those people's heart in California. And a personal note, Some of you may have remembered, or at least me referred to it. Remember I said I was a professional stepfather. Well, in a, I'm just going to say it, that my second marriage, I ended up raising the most wonderful, beautiful little girl ever. From the day she was born, she was part of my life. And then became an even bigger part of it as she became my daughter, my stepdaughter. And so she is married and living on Vashon Island in Seattle normally, but she had some other friends that lived there, and they owned another home in Malibu that they were dog sitting for. And we text back and forth. She said, I said, have your go bag ready. And she sent me a picture and they could see some of the smoke. And she said, yeah, we're standing by ready. Then within less than 24 hours, she texted me and said that they evacuated early and that where they were, she doubted that the house was still standing. In the meantime, the owners of the house were flying in early from where they were staying because Katie Lee was watching and pet sitting for them in their home in Malibu. And, to think about just having all your possessions, but that's the key, their possessions destroyed. And, there's no homes less than multi-millions of dollars. And, there's a lot of people that, even regardless of if they have wealth and money, they still have very personal, intimate possessions. And money, yes, that they might have can replace all those items except memories of those, what those possessions may be. And possessions don't have to be valuable to be treasures. And it could be a mineral specimen. I know, if fire swept through a mineral collection, I'd be brokenhearted. And to other people, they would think, oh, it's just rocks. But everyone has attachment. So, my heart goes out to those, especially having a personal experience. And she said, Shawn, it was apocalyptic. And I've heard that word used more than pretty much any other for what has happened out there. So we have an innate fear within us of fire, going back to caveman days, even though we found a use for it by way of cooking food and smoking through preserving it and whatnot. You would think that we'd have an innate fear more so of snow, because cold means hardship, means freezing to death, meaning a whole layer of clothing, a whole series of things have to occur to stay warm. If you're in a hot climate, you can still survive if, provided you have water. If you're in a cold climate, you can't unless you cover up. So instead, what do? We look forward to snow and love it and don't have any fear of it and want it to happen, except for one of our commenters here. Let's get to those comments and we'll see. Let's also see and go back to the trivia. So refresh you on the trivia questions. They were: question number 1, rutile, which also forms the star in sapphires and rubies, is made up of one metal. Which is it? So that being, of course, not a trick question, but just asking for the metal, because it's rutile. So we won't get into much chemistry, but you always have to have a metal or a primary element associated then with whether it's an oxide, so you have oxygen, or sulfide type of sulfur, sulfate, you have sulfur and oxygen. So you always have to have another combination element that ends up making it one of these minerals or a molecule. So in the case of rutile, it's titanium dioxide. So it's TiO2. And, water is H2O. It's only two elements. For everything it does, it's only hydrogen and oxygen. And the giver and the driver behind life. And so rutile being very simple, titanium being the key. And titanium is used as a white pigment in everything from paints, and it's just amazing because we can see it in so many other colors, but that is only because of the other little trace elements that may get into it. But when they purify titanium out by itself, it is, again, a metal, and very lightweight, very strong, very high temperature. So lots of good things happen with having titanium. Second question, labradorite is made up of what mineral? And so I said I would accept any of the broad mineral was feldspar, which is the most common element, most common mineral in the Earth's crust. A lot of people think, oh, quartz, all the sandy beaches and whatnot. Nope, it is actually feldspar. But those of you that took it a step further, it was the type of feldspar is plagioclase. Now remember, there's oligoclase, there's just like garnet, there is, at least 6 or 7 different types of feldspar. We won't go into all those now, but we discuss them from time to time. Everything from microcline to anorthite to albite and on. So the answer being feldspar or plagioclase feldspar. Number 3, rhodolite is made up with 2 types of garnets. What are they? And that would be a combination of pyrope and almandine. And usually they consider the almandine percentage, which is, remember, pretty much just iron. The iron percentage being about 30% by way of, when they say that, what they're talking about is molecular weight. We won't get into that, but that's what they're referring to, about 30% by way of molecular weight, and we won't get them. So anyway, but I love at least mentioning talking words like that. Reminds me of my old chemistry days. So, all right, that's it. So I answer being pyrope and almandine. Now remember, pyrope, we know spessartine is the manganese garnet, right? Manganese, aluminum, silicon, oxygen. Almandine, known as the iron garnet. Iron, aluminum, silicon, oxygen. Pyrope. So remember your pyrrole spike, which is pyrope, almandine, and spessartine, all containing aluminum. So your pyrope is your magnesium, aluminum, silicate, oxygen. And then variations of those is when you get some iron that substitutes into the pyrope mix. The Molly garnets have about 4 different, but they're beautiful. They have like 4 other mixes of garnet. So when they say that, they're talking about, the Molly garnet will have some grossular in it, meaning, it will have some calcium in it and other mixes. So as is the Malaya garnet. So, but those are as we go. All right, let's see how everybody did. Hey, we get to hear from Harry. We haven't heard from Harry in Pennsylvania in a while. He goes, I know. He answered what I was just saying. I know. I'm doing just fine. And Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you, Professor, and the wonderful Raven. I just get frustrated because so much of the stuff you sell, I really find I wanted to get too many things, and I am poor as poor can be. But heads up, I'm happy and healthy. I pray you and Chuck and the other production guy also are well. Anyway, I am in need of an Ultratech machine soon. I have 3 years of federal tax to hopefully get enough for a basic machine. Even a good used one will be better than what I use. Blessings, gang, out there in TV land, Mr. Harry. Harry, I actually would have sold you mine. I had an Ultratech. I still have another one, Precision. It was a right-handed machine. I'm left-handed, but I still can adapt and use either-handed machine. And I found I liked my just old rickety Graves even better than the fancy Ultratech, and traded it for a bunch of mineral specimens. Hindsight, I probably wish I had it back. But it'll happen, Harry. And as far as watching the show and getting frustrated that you can't have the things you want, I know, because I'm that way with looking at some of those, owning your own island or, cabin. There's a show where they have nothing but beautiful mountain cabins, which I'd love to have. And other people, ooh and ah, can watch that. They actually bug me. Maybe it's a little bit a sin. Maybe it's a sin on my fault. Envy. Isn't that one of those, 7 deadly sins type of thing? And because it does. It makes me more frustrated to see it. It's more about, not about the actual house. It's about like that land that goes with it, or the island, the solitude, that kind of thing, than the house. I could live with a very small scale type of domain, provided I had room for a shop. But it's the land around me. Anyway, enough of you are already into my head and know me better than I know myself sometimes. So I won't reveal any more. Miss Arlene in Arkansas. Let's see what she says. And she just starts off, just the first word. So it just puts a smile on my face because of her excitement. Hey, Shawn, wow. I never thought I would see you here like this again. So when I say I was shocked to see you pop up on my YouTube feed, boy, was I. Hey, I just thought it was an old episode till I saw the date. Wait, who? What? No. 1/6/25? Woohoo! I was even more shocked after I started watching and found out you were like back. I did come by to catch the new live show, and it was awesome. What a great job the two of you rocked. I am, however, kicking myself in the butt for missing out on the free gem. Remember those of you? I think I remember the names that called in, and I said if you just called in and said those items that you would get a free Madeira citrine, which of course is quite valuable. And they were great stones. And I remember Anthony, I remember Barbara, I remember Penny. I don't remember any Miss Arlene. I remember Miss Gabby. Yeah, no Miss Arlene. Let's see. Okay, missing out on the gem offer you had for free for watching and calling in that Thursday. For some strange reason with the holidays, I was under the impression it was the following Thursday we were supposed to start watching and call in. Oh well, about another time. But still, grrr. I did tell all my fellow rock and mineral groups I am in about the new show. Man, it is great to have you back. I was having such a bad day yesterday. Just one of those days where anything and everything you do can and will go wrong. All of life's stresses were piling up on me. It was just an all-around, in the dumps, bad day. Boy, I think you all of us can relate to that one, Miss Arlene. Seeing your show made me smile, and even if for only 3 hours, made me forget about all of that. That had been... Oh, wow. Okay, let me reread it. And even if for only 3 hours, made me forget about all of that had been burdening me. Wow, that's a compliment. Excited to see what's next after this first show. You came back with a bang, boom, pow, starting with the labradorites and then chrysocolla, and can't forget the amethyst, which, by the way, literally made my jaw drop. I love that piece, too. Thanks for brightening my day, Miss Arlene. Then the second one she addresses, hey, Shawn, so excited to play the trivia again. I can't even begin to tell you how much I missed it and your show. If I understood correctly, it would be titanium dioxide. I learned too from your show. Well, maybe from school, but your show reminded me. I had learned it many, many years ago. I know that feldspar is plagiar clays. With feldspar, well, feldspar is many different other clays, but plagiar clays is one of them. With feldspar being one of the most common minerals on Earth. It was one of the very first minerals I learned about when I started my rock hounding journey. And keep learning about it, because it'll always play a role in so many other different specimens. I'm not sure, this is question number 3, is it pyro, meaning pyrope, I guess, and almandine? I do remember you saying the percent, but I couldn't tell you what it was because I sadly forgot that part. That's not as important as just knowing it's made up of the two. That is, and so you should still have my info. We still do. So she gives it to me, better be safe than sorry. Man, it's great to have you back here, Miss Arlene. And so good job, 3 for 3 on your answers. And so what's important that you know that it contains the 2 elements. It is a way then to check for it to be rhodolite, because you can use a magnet then. And what that will do is, and there is such thing as a raspberry colored grossular. Yeah, they're amazing, beautiful, from Mexico. But you can separate out anything that doesn't have iron in it. So therefore, if you were sold a garnet that looked like the color of garnet, but it didn't attract to a magnet, and it was supposed to be a rhodolite or an almandine garnet, then it is not either one of those if there's no magnetic attraction. Remember, you have to use a neodymium magnet to get the true results on that. And so can't go too wrong with the alternatives. So it could be a hessonite garnet, so nothing much wrong there. Maybe not a garnet at all. That might be something that would be negative. But if it was just a pure pyro, another group had a discussion about anthill garnets and chrome pyrotes and what is and what isn't. And it's good to know the use of a magnet for determining such things. Miss Barbara in Brooklyn says, "Hi, Professor Shawn, Raven, GSN crew, and the whole Rock family. Welcome home. What a lovely surprise it was to get the YouTube Bing on Monday afternoon at 3:30 like usual. I'm sure it was exhilarating to participate in something different, but here is where you thrive. Shawn's underground realm, lovingly describing your treasures, making jokes with Asif, and raising money for Toothy and Two Buckets. I was surprised no one bought that Chinese chalcopyrite on air. It showed its iridescent colors better than in the big studio lights. Agreed. No lie, your price looks big, but you can see for yourself the prices on the Hubei specimens online. Yikes." And I'm glad there are those like you, Miss Barbara, that will do your homework, and not just homework, but research, and go and look at pricing elsewise. And then, I don't want to brag, or if I did, it's not as believable as somebody else like you that comes in and says, wow, that your price might have, sounded high on that specimen, but compared to other ones, it's a good value. And I really appreciate that. And because that supports and helps me understand the market as well, because I don't always know or have the time to research it all. I just knew that with that Calco specimen, I had never seen a piece that was so striking by way of the chalcopyrite, how bright it was and lively, but not only also just the right kind of size, but it was the phantoming, I guess, of it, or, the multi-generational growth. In other words, calcite, chalcopyrite, calcite, chalcopyrite, or enough that, the chalcopyrite was getting totally covered up on one side. You may not see it on the outside at all, but backlighting it, all of a sudden you could see that there was one or two successive layers of chalcopyrite then had gotten covered up by the calcite in the end. And I knew that it was something special, but that did cause me then to confirm origin, which was relatively easy to do because only a couple places even had specimens, anything similar. And then it was easy to determine the difference between a chalcopyrite and a pyrite. Remember, in the case of these UBI specimens, there's not much difference in value, especially that one. If it would have been pyrite, iridescent pyrite, which pyrite does and is iridescent like that, maybe not all the times as distinct as chalcopyrite, but still, nonetheless, a beautiful iridescence. So it doesn't really affect pricing because both are valuable and pretty high. But one way, just so that you can know to tell, because remember, chalcopyrite, triangles, will have triangles. You will still, even if it's one of those, and you're going to see one in a minute. Different habits or shapes, they're going to be triangles somewhere. Chalcopyrite, pyrite itself, it's isometric, meaning cubic form or equal-sided. So you're going to find a square somewhere. It may be in a cubo-octahedral form, and you may not see exactly a cube or something, but you're going to see where there's going to be equal sides in some form of the crystal. And you look close enough, and there'll be a square or cube somewhere. And that's how you can tell the difference. So Miss Barber goes on to say, as to the trivia, titanium, plague clay feldspar, pyrope, and 30% almandine. Hope Ossoff is settling into his new side hustle. It was endearing to see him honestly say, boy, this isn't as easy as it looks. True, but it gets easier with practice. Happy New Year to everyone, and happy birthday, Garnet Man. Thank you very much. I have turned a year older since everyone has seen me last. And my son came to town, and we went up to the family home in LJ. I got to see first snowflakes already in 2 years here in Georgia. Was up there at their side of the mountain home that has been in the my parents built about 40 years ago. And of course, having been born on my father's birthday, it was as close as I could get to him if I went to, of course, where his widow is of 30 years, his second marriage, wife of 30 years, spent there. And so with my son and with her and with the family home, I felt like I was there. It was good. It was good to go back. I needed to. And it's not that far from the house. I just often don't find the time, as I should. Miss Cindy in Pennsylvania. Hello, rock family with lots of exclamation points. Happy, happy, happy dance. I cannot express how happy I am that you are back with 3 hearts. The Great Gem Show is wonderful. I like you and Ossoff together very much. Hilarious. Just too fast-paced and lacking the close-up examination of each specimen that you do. The connection of friendship/commentary we have on Gem Collectors with Shawn. It is like I'm searching the tables at the local rock show and speaking to the vendors. You bring before my eyes some new-to-me treasures that I didn't even know I needed. Before you are done, I know why I need it. In my opinion, quality versus quantity. And in the end, yes, quality does by far, as in gems and many things, give you a better, if you're looking at a return, so to speak, on your money. At the level, it's like, at the really high end of specimen collecting is a level that I could never compete at, because it would be like buying earth mine diamonds that are in the DEF color range and the VVS or better, which would be flawless, range for clarity. Now, the price is exorbitant what you pay to have the combination of those two in a price per carat situation. Beautiful, beautiful diamonds can be found in a lower color and clarity, right? Well, same thing with mineral specimens. The really high-end stuff is a premium, and it's like without any nicks. The crystals are euhedral, in other words, perfect formation. Everything is just right. Specimen preparation is often a big part that the buyer doesn't realize how many hours has been spent in a back office by a professional doing specimen prep. And so that level is something that few of us can afford. But as in diamonds, same thing with mineral specimens. The most desirable and the ones that are traded most often are the mid-range, where you get the most value for the money, is a balance of that. Like I tell people when it comes to diamonds, the human eye can discern color. It can't discern whether there's a little tiny flaw in there or not, or, unless you grab the person's hand and hold it up to their eye with a 10-power loop. Other than that, the eye can see color, but they can only see the minor differences in color in the really white diamonds. If you keep the diamond perfectly clean with no dirt on the back, once you have some dirt built up, that starts to not become as big of a factor. Whether it's a D color or an E color, you have to perfectly, it gets washed out. So with mineral specimens, it's perfectly acceptable to accept a less than perfect specimen. There's still, huge markets where you get the best value for, the item, and you won't feel as protective of it, so to speak. I mean, some specimens, all you can do is buy them and put them up, let alone, put out and display them. You have some cleaning person come by the house, they bump the cabinet, who knows? You would become that wary of it. I never would want to do that. Remember the story from last week? I want to be like my mom, who put out objects of art for people to enjoy them, even if it's for children, and they bump and knock, a demi-tasse jade cup set over and it breaks. They were family items, and I really can appreciate and understand that better now. Better to be able to put something out and enjoy it than to feel like what you bought was so precious and valuable that all you could do was to put it up in a safe deposit box or wrapped up and protected so well that no one can see it or enjoy it, including yourself. They're meant to be enjoyed. So, just like this show, right, Miss Cindy? All right, so Miss Cindy goes on to say that, Asif, you are very good in front of the camera. If the powers that would be would promote and support a show that lets you do you to educate on your choice of jewelry, gemstones, specimens, processes, geology, it would be a hit. When will your next show be on air? Well, I'll tell you. When will it, Asif?
Alone, or I guess.
Yeah, you're overnight. The 25th. So you may see him like I caught him by chance the other day, helping out as a host in a show with Kurt and the Modani line. And so you may see him into some of these other shows, which I think would be a great all the way around for everybody. But other than that, for certain, you can catch him January 25th in the overnight show from 3 a.m. to 9 a.m. I think that's a Saturday. So put it down in your calendar. Chuck, you can come on in, I think. Okay, let's see. Also sending condolences on the passing of Frank. I can tell he meant a lot to so many of you at Gem Shopping. Yeah, you can. And you can tell, those of you that have been watching long enough, that those of us who personally knew him and those of us that maybe, just know more of him and in the sense of loss, Frank made a way awake. He left awake when he walked through a room. And that's a tough hole to fill, kind of like trying to dig a hole near the edge of the beach, of the water. So, yeah. Trivia, getting titanium, Player clays, feldspar, pyropanomidine, all correct. I'm so glad to be answering trivia again. Hope your birthday was wonderful. Cindy in South Central Pennsylvania, 26 degrees and snow covered. Come on, spring. What? And we're here all hoping for snow and you're already wanting spring? Sorry, Miss Cindy, I can't get behind you on that one. 26 degrees. It was 19 up at the house this morning. And, I'm in the foothills, but still, that's cold. Miss Penny and Mahalis in Quebec. Hello, Shawn, the very lovely Raven, amazing GSN crew, and fellow Rockhounds. I hope this finds everyone well. Happy belated birthday, Shawn. Happy New Year to everyone. I hope this year is filled with nothing but wonderful things for everyone. Shawn, I am beyond tickled pink that you are back. Is there not any of you that aren't? I guess everything does happen for a reason. Your return indicates to what extent you and your show were appreciated and definitely missed. Despite how good your chemistry with Asif was on the live show, I truly missed your From the Ground Up show. It was certainly wonderful to see some of Frank's, may he rest in peace, gemstones again on Asif's show, though. Yeah, Asif was showing some of those stones, and wow, believe me, they did look beautiful. I saw them from home as well. So, yeah. Trivia, let's see, everything right? I thought you were going to ask a question about chrysocolla and gem silica. So I watched that part so many times, I could almost regurgitate it. And when I got to the trivia, alas, there was nothing on gem silica. I hope to remember something next time you ask about gem silica. You will remember. That's the idea, Miss Penny. You have got that locked away now. You're good on that gem silica. Fave of the week. Although you had many fabulous specimens, that Democratic Republic of the Congo amethyst specimen, wow. Unfortunately, my spending will have to be quite judicious because I'm looking at almost 40% exchange rate. Yikes. Have a wonderful week and hope to see you next week, Penny and Mahalis in Quebec. P.S. Thanks for the Madeira citrine freebie. Very kind of you as usual. Hollis was also surprised to see you back in the saddle again. Thank you both very much. And that is not a favorable exchange rate at all. But I was thinking about you, Miss Penny, because an item had come up on a site that I glance at that has some really unique and unusual different mineral specimens. And you probably know of this island. I actually had never been aware that there were sapphires, and it had originally been mined for emery, but there were good enough quality stones that could be called blue sapphires actually found on there. And there was this specimen, about this big, that was filled with sapphire crystals. And I actually tried to, again, you heard me mention that I look at some of these and I try on some of these auction sites, right? And I told you how often I have tried, and still to this point day, I try every week. They get to a point that I say, okay, this is about as much as I feel like would be fair for a specimen like this. And every single time, the bid goes far beyond that. So I do want to tell you this, even if you didn't want it, it wouldn't matter. But there was one that I actually tried to buy with you in mind, and if you wouldn't have wanted it, I was plenty happy to keep it because I had never seen it. A beautiful blue multi-sapphire crystal with some of them like about 1.5 inches long. So they weren't tiny. Wonderful hexagonal shaped blue sapphire crystals with translucency to them from Naxos Island, South Aegean in Greece. And so you might be familiar with them, but Naxos Island, I'm sure you're familiar with that. So no worries, because it would bid up to about 3 times what I would have considered worth it. Now, the locality makes it unique and unusual, and I think someone was paying for that. I was willing to factor in and probably figured that you would want it and you wouldn't mind it if there was even a little bit higher premium for it than what you would normally think. But don't worry, we missed that too as far as what I considered. But anyway, I have all of you in mind when I know that Miss Penny collects items from Greece, and that would have been a really unique one to get. So I'm going to keep looking, and if a good deal comes across on one, I will have you in mind for that. And I wouldn't mind until your funds are replenished from something like that. I'll just hang on to it until they are. So I want everybody to get what they want. Mr. Anthony in Massachusetts, hello all. I guess I misunderstood, and after watching Asta's first show, I wasn't sure the Monday show was continuing. This show was great. Lots of amazing specimens and collectibles, of which I scored 1, the rock crystal carving of Kuan Yin. But I wanted almost everything. This is an amazing piece. Back during the original 3 a.m. shows, I was able to score a couple of reverse intaglio pieces. Not quite the same, however. The Kuan Yin, with the contrast of the polished and matte finish effect, is stunning. Thanks for sharing memories of your younger years and of your mother's family. Getting the trivia, all correct there on the almandine and pyrope and the plagioclase feldspar. And I know you know this one about the rutile, because iron oxide, of course, is the hematite series. Rutile is the titanium dioxide series. So almost there, Mr. Anthony. I have a feeling, but you knew the right answer. So looking for titanium on that one. Everyone did really well and participated. I want to see everybody back. Anybody can leave comments. They don't have to participate in the trivia, but if you want to win something cool, you can answer, and I give a lot of leeway to the answers as far as giving you credit when I can, because I want everyone to have a chance at winning something. So when we have multiple correct answers, we have someone assign a number to each one, someone pick a number, and there we go. This week, again, starting off the new year, we have Miss Bubbly herself is the winner. Miss Arlene, you won't believe it. Miss Arlene has won again. And I say that because Miss Arlene, in her comments before, has said that she had spent much of her life never having won a thing. Then all of a sudden she won a couple of back-to-back items, and now I am sure she's probably doing backflips to find out she has won again. So the life has saved all of your winnings and good luck up for this particular time when you have such passion. Now, don't you think that that passion, when you have that much passion for something, that it can't manifest itself into winning those items? I am one that happens to believe that, if you want something, you think about it, you want to create it in your mind, you see it, and, provided it's something healthy and good for you, as rocks and minerals are, that neat things like this can happen. And winning, I don't know how many times you won now. Could be one of them. Let's show what she has won, because this is exactly so cool, because oddly enough, weren't we just talking about chalcopyrite and triangles? So we'll just give it just a quick look as to what I'm talking about by way of looking for triangles. So anytime you would see a triangle, now, it's easy. Like from right here, all of a sudden I start seeing triangles. They're easy. I see a triangle there. I see a reflected triangle there. Look at that. See that reflected light triangle there. And that's all it takes. It can just, whether it's a physical triangle, a reflected light triangle, which shows a face of one. And then when you can see, of course, the iridescence, but you can get iridescence like that with pyrite as well. So this is a great piece because it shows chalcopyrite in some of its other habits that aren't your usual chalcopyrite habits for the crystal. But what there is enough of, there's enough crystals that if you look close enough, and if we go, can we go in a little more? There we go. Then you start noticing, look at it, see this triangle? I mean, any type of triangle. Look at that, see, turned it, light reflected off of that one, triangle, which just means there's a triangular crystal face. There's that one there. So, once you see more than one, and see many of them, then you know that you're dealing with chalcopyrite, and then as opposed to pyrite. And it's also easy to separate them when you have them side by side. So like here, there's a triangle there, there'll be a triangle on the other face, and it is indicative of the difference in the crystal system between chalcopyrite and pyrite. Now what you have also, by the way, is dolomite. Dolomite in the background. Now dolomite can look real similar to calcite, but when you get familiar with it enough and like it won't fluoresce and other things like that, you can tell the difference and it's harder. So dolomite background. This is a neat specimen because it's from the well-known viburnum trend, which is a particular ore shoot of, look at that, of the mine, and it's with a like a metamorphosed limestone, like a silica limestone mix. Look at that. That's actually really neat because there's actually a chalcopyrite crystal sitting right there. And looking back in there. I mean, a lot of people just don't give it a second look, but when you look closer, look at this. Look at the crystals, the dolomite crystals. Those are some of the best formed on the piece. And that's why even, something like this, you can entertain yourself, and I'm sure Miss Arlene will for quite some time. All right, congratulations. Let's get going. I have a lot to do. I'll be right back. Look at this. Really the best material coming straight here from the United States. As part of my Made in the USA collection many, many years ago, I had an opportunity to buy a collection, a batch of these. One of the best buys I've actually ever made. So I am still doling out, I guess I should say, some of these from time to time. Don't have many left at all. This one I didn't even know I had. I came across it. I think I remember there being some purple in this. I see a little bit there at the base. Purple or blue being the two most valuable colors you see. Look at that. See that botryoidal pattern going all the way to the front. So this is a good stone because you have that play of colors throughout the entire gem, whether it's one angle or another, kind of like an opal will do. It's a type of chalcedony colored by iron oxide impurity. So you can get a translucent nature to this, and you have that really unique play of colors. Look at that. Look at that. Really attractive. So anyway, if I hadn't have bought these at a great deal then, I wouldn't be able to offer them at the great deal I'm doing now on these. So this one, being that it's 4.68 carat, I am offering it now yeah, why not? For only, make it $46, $10 a carat, only Yeah, only $10 a carat. Now, what I'm going to show you next, this is item 122, 3622. Doing that live show, this item, we featured some of these and we sold every one we could. Well, I had held out one in particular, one of the best ones I had. So since so many of the others sold, I decided to offer this one as well. Yes, sir. That item number 122, 3624. And this is one of the last crystals I have from the Oro Prado, which is the imperial topaz center of the world. And you can see from the end, this is one way that is a classic. See that? Now, you know, like tourmaline, you look from the end, the classic, almost typical look of a tourmaline is a trillion-shaped end to the crystal. Well, you can see from the end, I don't know, would you call it like a diamond shape? I don't think that's the official terminology, but as long as you know and kind of remember it, that is the way a classic tourmaline elongated crystal will look from the end, with that symmetrical type of angles to the way. And then look at this, look at this. So this is a wonderful, wonderful color. And look at that. You can see that certain areas are gemmier than others, but it has got a wonderful, wonderful length and would make a really nice, look at that, yeah. That termination right there. That would make a really nice drop pendant. Also, I talked to Andrew, my wire wrapper, and he is looking for work. He's going back to school. He happens to be related to one of the other cameramen here for a long time, and it's his brother, as all of you know if you've been around with me long enough. And so I was just thinking, as I was presenting this, that it would have been something I would have set aside for him to make something up. Well, instead of that, if one of you are interested, I can have this made into a wire wrap piece. We can get an estimate first, do it in sterling silver. I can plate it in gold if you want the vermeil look. It's not going to be that bad. He is he's hungry, so to speak, and I'm willing to help out anybody willing to help themselves get, going to school and whatnot. So you can see in my hand how big this is relative to my hand, so it would make a really nice size pendant. And if none of you take advantage of at least putting it in your stock, I will probably have him work on that, creating something else, because imperial topaz jewelry is very, very rare to find, especially anything inexpensive. And that one certainly fits the bill, especially since I'm going to offer that one. Wow, the whole crystal at a really, really, really great value for you. How about this? $77. Only $77 on that. And that's a really fantastic opportunity. And I think that's a really good deal. The material is so hard to find now like that. And it's only because I had a batch of it before that I can offer that now. So anyway, let me show you next something a lot of fun. I only have 2 of these I can offer. So let me show you. I'm calling them gem marbles. This is item number 1239924. 1239924. So give me a moment, or well, I can just do this before your very eyes. How about that? All right, so here we go. Here is what I'm going to put them in. You can already see from the graphic what is coming. So let me show you. I was able to get them into, look at this. All right, it is cool. And these are, I looked up what official marble sizes are. Okay, so you get for your money, look at these. Now, these are all really high quality material that has been used. Tiger eye, obviously. And like, look at that. Look at that eye. Look at that. Beautiful material. Okay, so they haven't been hand formed, which you've seen in some of the small beads. These, of course, are cut with a machine that gets them very, very symmetrically, spherically correct. Okay, so they're 19 millimeters. So looking up about marbles, I found out that typical marbles actually have a range in size, that they can go from like 13 millimeters to, it was 30 millimeters, the marble makers. That's what they make it. And they have different names for the different sizes, but the classic marble that you shoot marbles with, which is, again, something else I've never actually done, ranges, I think it was around 14 millimeters. So these are definitely right in the size marbles. Now, there's two different sizes. You're looking at the South African size, which are 20 millimeters, but these are certainly close enough to use them all. Look at these. Look at these. Look at those. Now, that is a set of marbles. Look at these incredibly beautiful amethyst ones. This is that really, really rich amethyst color tone. And look at the blue colors in the amethyst. And look at that material. You can also have fun if you want and look for inside ones like this, whether there is anhydros, whether there is phantoms. And here, this is what I wanted to show you. You have to remember that a lot of people don't realize that amethyst is actually dichroic. In other words, it looks different depending on the way you look at it and the direction you look at it. So here is what I'm showing you right here, this angle through a different wavelength of light than I showed you a minute ago. If I turn this, you can see that everything from a purplish color in one particular angle to a blue color in another, or a bluish purple color combination, and the various clarities. Look at these. I love looking into things like this because you just never know what's inside. I mean, there could be another crystal inside. There could be an iron hydro bubble inside. But again, this, oh, look at that. Look at that. Okay, so you didn't see any banding right there. You turn it just a little and boom, you can see banded zoning. I think I saw a chevron in one of these. Look at that, going around that. Yeah, I like this one too. It is cool. We got Chuck on camera. Look at that. Look at the clarity there that you didn't even see. I mean, this is why even something as inexpensive as one of these can give you all kinds of fun if you're a rock hound and looking in them. There's so many different other, from minerals to zoning to potential water bubbles to irises to other crystals of other minerals in there. Now, this is a high-end set, okay? And I have two sets of those. So I'll just show you. I think I did keep the same item. Yeah, so same item number. So meaning there's not one set you can pick over the other. But let me just show you in the bags. I'll just show you. So there's the other tiger eye, and here are the other amethyst. And believe me, that it's all, they're all the same random qualities. Okay, now, you can get these a lot less expensively if you give up quality, but I didn't want to give up quality. I wanted, especially in the amethyst end, a tiger eye at the level of quality isn't inexpensive either. But I tell you what I will do. I will offer these each set for only $118. Only $118 a set. And that, when you think about it, when you have 10 total pieces and divide it out between those 10 pieces, I think it's just a really good value overall, because in that level of quality, it makes all the difference. You could easily find something like that, maybe, well, if you could find something like that, once you start giving up money, you start giving up not only quality, but you also give up the polish, the level of polish that they are, the level of concentricity, and symmetry. So just like in a diamond, they grade a diamond on cut, polish, symmetry. Yeah, cut and symmetry are actually two different gradings. So anyway, look at that. What a neat gift also to give to someone if they collect marbles or even spheres, because these could be considered miniature spheres. Only $118 a set. Only have 2 sets of them. So take advantage of these while you can. Let me take away the amethyst. So the amethysts are just a millimeter smaller than the tigerite, but you can't see that just with the eye, as when they were grouped together, that wasn't really visible. So now, to keep your attention distracted while I put the rest of those away, let me show you, oh boy. Here we go. Item number 119-6824. 119-6824. And let's see what that gets us. Let's go back in a little bit. Oh, this is one of the few really nice ones I had left. Look at that. Yeah, exactly. That's Latif on over there that you just heard. And Latif, being a cutter himself, he's got an eye. He's got an eye for the good stuff. Knows the good stuff. Been here as long as anybody. And he is a really good soul. One of the good folk. You won't find anybody but the good folk on this working this show. So that's all I have to say about that. Now, let me make sure I get everybody, all these. I don't want to say that I lost my marbles, huh? There, I took the cheap shot myself. I know someone was thinking it. Yep, yeah, it was Latif or Chuck. It was a tough toss-up between the two, which one was going to do it. Okay, here we go. Look at this. Look at this gem. And it really is, because as a specimen, you could maybe try to cut this if you wanted, but you wouldn't want to, because as a specimen, it is much rarer than whatever you might get from cutting it. I see a little kind of crazings, but even when they get these really neat nodules, because you can see on the back side of this that here's the opal coming to the edge there. So you could actually attack it, so to speak, is what they say, start cutting it from this direction, just flatten the bottom side and see what you get from coming in, if there's any crazing or whatnot. But once the nodules cut away, then you have just a hunk of silica, and you don't know how that's going to turn out. So better and more attractive if left just as this is. It can be wire wrapped. Again, if anybody's interested, what a great piece to wire wrap and create into a piece of jewelry without having to do anything else to it. And look at those colors. It is like having those colors against a black opal when you have it against, and it's natural color. Every one of those, from the reds to the purples, look at how intense. And I don't think this one skips a color. I think there is every color in a prism there. Don't you? Look at that, Chuck.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Beautiful.
It really is. So, some of these, I don't know if I showed them in the live show or not. If I did, I probably did it because they would have been gone. So what I did, I set aside a lot of different items for another one of those live shows. Well, when that didn't happen, what you're getting to see are some of those items set aside. So you get the benefit of that. And we're bringing them back down to the mushroom set, where I grow mushrooms right across from me here. But we love it. Like Miss Cindy said, the dark, and if I present that view, it's because that's exactly what it is. It is a set aside part of the building that I am fortunate to that they have created a set for me, and it's a dark getaway that everyone loves to come down here. It's cool. It is security access controlled. Yeah. quiet, as Chuck says. See that? Exactly. So imagine, and all of you I know here, the live showroom, there is people everywhere and noise everywhere. And we get to just breathe and enjoy rocks as they're supposed to be enjoyed, with zest, vigor, and passion, and time to breathe and look at them in that kind of fashion. How about this one? When I tell you the price, it is going to set your fingers to dialing. That's going to get you moving, because it is Shawn's discount opportunity bargain bin. $68. I kid you not. $68. And the difference between this and any other one you may find for $68, this will be nicer. Simple as that. This will be beyond nicer on many levels of nice beyond. Now, what I'm going to show you next, well, let's see. Lots of fun options here. Item 120, 3124. 120, 3124. Now, here is this will come with a stand, and this is it'll come with a stand that won't fall apart. Well, it's one of those, portable stands. It's one of those, live TV moments. See, we don't redo it. We just make like we're, live, and we move forward. I'll get another stand. I was going to give you a stand with it, but cheapskate Shawn now may change his mind, because now I'm going to have to upgrade you. Okay, I'll upgrade you. Here you go. You get a real one. Don't have to put together. Look at that. Hey, I was just thinking, as I seldom do, but imagine something like that. Okay, come in from behind. I mean, I don't know. This is how new designs get created. Okay, so it wasn't such a good idea. If I made this hole bigger and put that in the center, look at that look. Now, that's not too bad. But, okay. So there's a better side to it. All right. Okay, now we're designing. And the reality of the situation is, I could actually carve this stone out Anthony, Harry, any lapidary can, to fit the outer dimensions of this exactly, right? Then I could actually set that down right there at the level. That would be really, really neat. And all you would actually have to do is epoxy it in there to get that look. So when I'm showing these items, for those of you, and any of you actually, you don't realize the talent that lies within you unless you try. A Dremel tool is not expensive. Diamond bits are real inexpensive. Diamond, never buy silicon carbide unless you want to, because other than that, diamond grinding tools are the least they have ever been. And I'm talking about dollars, really inexpensive. And imagine, with all the lab-grown high-end diamonds they're creating, how inexpensive the industrial-grade diamonds would be. So any of you could actually just get a Dremel and start carving this out. And take your time until it drops in and fits. You can epoxy it and complete something yourself. So those of you that are a little bit more adept already, think out of the box when you see two pieces like this and come up with an idea like I just did. Imagine how actually beautiful that would be. You could create it into a pendant, but if you just wanted to combine the two as an object of art and something different in the house, there you would go. You had opal, lapis combo. I think that's actually beautiful. So anyway, getting back just to the lapis, what I'm saying is, think out of the box of, you can take, even when it comes to minerals, parts, and put them together to make objects of art. And just takes a little bit of, here's a topaz crystal. you could have something made to where it dangles in front. And you know what? You'll have items that aren't really that expensive to make that are on a level of jewelry design at the highest of creativity. And, you know, you don't have to look at other people's creations to say something's cool. Your mind can create their own, and it would be just as cool, if not more cool, because you don't have to pay the premium that someone else's brain came up with when you could do it yourself. Okay, so this one, guess what? So I'm going to offer the stand with that really nice high-end quality piece of lapis for only $24. $24, and you get the idea free. Get the opal to go with it. Who knows? One day you may just want to create what I just mentioned. Okay, let me show you something really unique. Here it is. It is item 103-4821. 103-4821. Now, let's go to Sweet Home, not Alabama. Sweet Home, Colorado. Alma, Colorado. Used to live in Denver. Used to go out prospecting all the time, mostly in the old mine tailings. Look at this piece. So what you have, look at this. So it's a slice of what would be actually have been ore material. And rhodochrosite was considered gangue material, Gangue, meaning waste products from mining what they were really after, which was silver and other ore minerals, not rhodochrosite. So many of the fine rhodochrosites were first found in the tailings. This big, larger piece, if you look from the outside, would have easily been a run through the crusher, thinking that it might have contained ore materials, or it just was part of a bigger piece of gangue rock. In other words, tailings, undesirable specimens. Well, someone took it and someone sawed it, and in doing so, look at this, they hit a pocket. You can see the vein, and you can see the crystals grew in from both sides. So in doing so, that's where you get where it's solid here, when the crystals grew from the top and bottom. But when they didn't grow all the way and left a void, you can see the actual gorgeous quartz crystals then look at also. Fluorite moved through the opening, through the pocket, into this vein, into the crevice, and left its crystal behind, as did rhodochrosite, magnesium carbonate. Look at that. So look at this, really neat multi-crystal little pocket there. More fluorite, more rhodochrosite. How beautiful is that? And you can see little pyrites sprinkled throughout. Here's the other side. As we come out from it, you'll see that you get this quartz vein here, and it's pretty much, except for that wonderful rhodochrosite down there. Look at that. Look at that rhodochrosite right there. This is a really neat, wonderful pyrite in the corner up here as well. Really neat overall display specimen showing really a literal cross-section, pun intended, of what the Sweet Home mine was about. The mine closed in 2004. They've actually now, then it was mined for mineral specimens, but now they have completely closed the entrance. No hope of getting in. Rhodochrosite, fluorite, quartz, pyrite, feldspar, and calcite is everything that is involved in this specimen, and I have it for you at a crazy, crazy sale price on this. This entire look, it's got a spray kind of, one of my light spray polishes on it that you can see. You can add more if you want to, more layers of that, if you want to cover up some of those saw marks a little bit more. Other than that, it looks just great the way it is, and especially when I am offering that entire item for $77. $77. And you can see right here, $138 and $168 were the prices I was supposed to offer that for, but I am putting that on a big, big sale price for you on that. Okay, now, next, let me show you. This is one of the most outstanding specimens I've had, and I finally decided to offer it It's item 1233824. 1233824. So since we were talking about veins and ore material, let me show you this one. And this, if you actually, I should show the picture of the Emmiter mine. The Emmiter mine is about a mile wide across, and it's one of those mines that, you know, they mine down by, well, like they mine diamonds, where you see this road that spirals down into a vertical cone. Well, they've taken the mine now underground. So they reached down doing the exterior mining as much as they could, and now have gone underground because it's been that prolific of a mine for ore minerals, especially silver. Look at this. This is one of the best examples I have ever seen to help people understand exactly how precious metal makes its way, or how it's found within rocks that have even the narrowest or tiniest of little fissures in them. Look at this. So you can see the rock through geologic means, whether it's earthquakes or whatnot over time, had been a little bit broken up and had left crevices, little veins, exposed veins. And what happens, look at this. If it's not silver, it's most often something else. Could be just quartz that finds its way in. But look at, even pressed and forced by nature, all the way back here from probably all the way up here. Look at these. This is crystallized silver. You can see the crystallization of the silver, which is very desirable. And back in there it goes. There is more right there. Going back into there. Now, with some of the other colors, you may have some other ore bodies, metals mixing in, like you can have cobalt that can cause some of the coloration in silver, just like any other metal alloy. Silver, when we say native silver, it doesn't mean it's going to be 99 or 100% pure silver. It never is, just as in gold. You don't never have found, the gold has never been found higher in nature than more than about 97%. And that is actually the gold that was found in Georgia, the Dahlonega gold, some of the purest in the world, but still never totally pure. When it's not totally pure, gold being yellow or a shade thereof stays in that realm of yellow, even if there's some silver content, if there's zinc content, if there's any other metal content in gold, you're still going to get a predominantly gold look. But with silver being a whitish color metal, a lot of other elements that you may alloy in with it, it doesn't take them a lot for silver to cause it to oxidize or cause it to be a variant of its color. Now, as we continue to look at this, we get around to the best side. Look at this. This is where you can see beautiful, large silver formations. Look at this. And this is crystallized arborescent silver. Arborescent after, arbor for tree-like. And look, and as we look down and back into those crevices, you know what it makes me really want to do? It makes me want to pop the lid. Yep. Makes me it wouldn't take much, and I could pry open those veins and see the unexposed silver that no human eye has ever cast its gaze upon it. Back in there, I can see calcite. And that is the way they recover a lot of the crystalline form of native minerals like that. Those wire silvers that you see, many of those are actually preserved, so to speak, in calcite or quartz. Hydrofluoric acid, which do not ever touch, get near, or have anything ever to do with hydrofluoric acid. As much as I love chemicals and acids, I will not mess with that stuff myself. But others, yes. That is the only acid that will dissolve quartz. That's how they find these stunning quartz specimens, is because they dissolve away the quartz around it. Other than that, they would never be able to recover them. With these silver, it's mostly calcite that is dissolved away. Now, calcite is easy to dissolve away without affecting the specimen, and is safe enough to do. And you can see some of the white back in there, that these may have been preserved because calcite may have formed around them and safely kept them safe, especially their different crystalline forms like that. Look at that. Yeah, that's what looks like what has happened. So this is a remarkable piece. It tells a story of its own, and these have become extremely collectible and worth a lot more than they were when they first were a novelty about 10 years ago when they first came out. They've all been absorbed into the market. Prices on these have gone exorbitantly, but now I have this offer on this one. I'm going to offer to you for a fraction of what it should go for. I'm going to let this, and I, ask you to go out and look. Go, if you want, go do your research on arborescent or native silver emitter mine specimens, and you'll find out. You'll see. Price on this guy is only going to be $278. $278, a huge sale price on that. All right, give me one moment. Let me put that up. I'll be right back. This is something for those of you New England local collectors, or anyone that just wants to add to their collection. If you collect actinolite or you collect quartz, look at this. Look at this specimen: quartz, oligoclase, feldspar, and actinolite. Let me show you in. Look at how pretty that is. Look at how pretty. And you say, remember, as Kim says, there's no such thing. Kim the Raven says, no such thing as an ugly rock, and she's right. So you can see the crystals of actinolite. Now, you're familiar with actinolite in like nice quartz needles. They look often like rutile and are often the green ones that you see. A lot of people say, oh, it's green rutile. No, most of the time it's green actinolite. But anyway, this is just a neat locality of interest specimen. And that's why it's going to be only $21. $21. Yep. And again, a really great value for those of you interested in that locally. Now, another great value, item 122.8524. 122.8524 for you New England collectors again, because it was originally found in Danbury, Connecticut. It means it can only be one mineral, danburite. Look at that. Now, if you don't see it yet, you may be in a minute. It actually has a light pink cast. So there you go. You can see that pink cast to it right there. And isn't that neat? Mm-hmm. That is neat. Pink danburite. You don't seldom see the faceted stones in pink, though, of any size. I love danburite. It's a hard stone, 7.5 hardness. This one, look at that. It's a twin crystal, actually. That's a twin. And that is really probably why I have had it, because of that collector portion of it. But look at the beautiful irises in it. There is some facet grade material in here. Yeah, look at that. And so this one coming from the deposit in Mexico. But imagine being the first one to find danburite on your property, and you're in Connecticut. Who would think, right? I mean, but remember, some of the best fluorescent minerals are in New Jersey. Amazing minerals still in Massachusetts. So yeah, never know what you're going to find and where you're going to find it. So this guy, danburite being a calcium borosilicate, so having boron in it, that's kind of unusual. You don't see that in too many different mineral specimens, the presence of boron. So price on this, how would you like a amazing deal on that crystal? I'm going to offer that crystal for only $58. $58. And that is a large, showy piece. Look at that. Yeah, that's a good value for that. I like that. Now, oh, look at this jewel. I have item 123.1724. 123.1724. Now this one I had saved for the live show, but we didn't feature it then because I think it was going to, it didn't really relate now to anything we were featuring, but I saw where they did a whole turntable of rhodonite in the facet grade quality. And this one would have worked perfectly to showcase before that. Let me show you one of the other world-class origins for rhodonite in facet grade red. Instead of the more carving quality pink rhodonite that most people are familiar with, this is a specimen that can be very expensive in any form you find it in when it's from Broken Hill, Australia. Broken Hill is a huge mine. Basically, the city exists to serve the mine. Having been to Australia and the outback and experienced just what does it take to create a city in Australia once you're away from the coast. Well, pretty much not much of anything unless it's a mining event, mining activity. And or something like Ayers Rock, a tourist activity. Then you have Alice Springs. Other than that, I mean, the reason Lightning Ridge, Australia, which I've been there, exists at all is strictly because of the mines. Same thing with an entire portion of Queensland exists to mine boulder opal. All right, look at this. I have it on that side. Let's spin it around a little bit and show you exactly what you're dealing with. Galena. Now remember, there is something else I was going to tell the story about. Let me show you. I'm going to flash it in. I'm not going to tell the story, I don't think, unless I have time somehow. The Galena geode story. Let me show you really quickly. Okay, Shawn with geode. Shawn with open geode. Galena galore. I am in Morocco. Story to be continued. I know, terrible thing to do to you. But, so, Galena. Galena is primary lead ore. This is really heavy, all right, overall because of the Galena. You can see the nice crystallization. Now, the Padre Pariso mine or the Morro de Mina mine in Brazil are the two mines that have produced facet grade quality rhodonite. Rhodonite, of course, is normally a pinkish kind of ornamental material. But also, Broken Hill, Australia, let's take a look. Let's look at this. Has some amazing rhodonites as well. And you can see, look at that deep red color in there. Look at that. That is almost like there's a fire within that. I wonder exactly how I get to that. Oh, look at that. It looked like I was lighting it somehow from there. Who knows how light could bounce around. Look at that. Look at that. That is like cherry red. That is really pretty stuff. And that's just it. You never know because it's got galena all around it. But look at these beautiful, beautiful crystals. There is the big rhodonite crystal. Look at that. Look at that. And so these are very collectible. I had a couple. Miss Gabby got in on one time. That was a major, major specimen. And if put up for auction, the amount that people are willing to pay for these specimens is extraordinary, extraordinary. But I'm not doing that. I'm just letting you guys have a great deal. The mine has been closed. They actually only recently closed it. They're actually actively looking for another buyer. Look at that. It almost is like there's a light in there. I don't know. That has to be a surface reflection, obviously, to get that red like that. But that is really weird, the way that is glowing like that from within, it seems. Anyway, here is an opportunity at a very desirable collector specimen. And I tell you what, I wish, look, okay, yeah, so you can also see the crystal shape. Look at that termination, very well crystallized. And anyway, I just love looking at these particular specimens. There was only a few I had gotten, and I got them because these other dealers didn't know what they were, and which was really surprising to me, but there's the only way that I can sell it for what I'm selling it for, which I'm going to offer that specimen. And believe me, this is an outstanding opportunity relative to what, if I put this thing up for auction, what it would run up to money-wise would be considerable. But instead, I'm going to let this go for only $128. $128. An exceptional opportunity. You can see just how well formed these crystals are. There just happens to be galena wrapped around them. Look at that. I'm actually kind of curious about this one, the big one. I kind of often don't see it because I use that big crystal to as the stand. Look at that. But I should. Let me just see something. Look at the pink. Look at the pink and the orange in there. I mean, that's just tremendous nature. Now, the color, due to rhodonite is, rhodochrosite is a manganese carbonate. Rhodonite is the silicate version of it. It's a manganese silicate. So it's a harder stone. Only $128. That is a wonderful, wonderful rarity. And when I get a chance, I will definitely, especially anyone grab that, finish the galena story. Now, I was going to do that for you too, because we're going to be a little short on time, so I won't be able to get to all the lesson. I had 2 lesson items I want to do. Item 120, 9324, 120, 9324, and I don't know if I'll get to them for you. Let me show you. Look at this jewel. I can't believe I still have this. And look at the colors of things together. Look at all this, all natural colors that you're seeing. So I see the pinks in this. And if you see that kind of pink and that kind of pearlescent surface, it should only mean one mineral, and that would be lepidolite, the lithium mica. So that's what you see. So let me get my pointer. So you see that pearlescent surface, where it's a kind of a rounded surface, that tells you that, or tells me that it's a mica, and when it's that color lavender, then you know it. It is a lithium mica, lepidolite. Now remember what I said earlier about the end shape of a tourmaline crystal versus the end shape of that topaz crystal. And this is how, how do I know that's not if it was the same color? Well, this is where crystallization matters a lot. So the end of the tourmalines, remember I said looks like not a triangle, a trillion, which is the rounded sides to the triangle. You can see them there. You can see the partial crystal, the rounded sides there. And look at how gemmy this is. This is bigger than a thumbnail. So what I think they call them toenails maybe when they get a little bit bigger. You can see the relative size of this, but what a beautiful cluster of tourmaline crystals and lepidolite. And there's one that was possibly, this is from the Lagman mine, but there was one also that was possibly an aquamarine. I think it was buried underneath some of the lepidolite when I was looking at research. So I'll leave it up to all of you to figure that out. Oh, also the cream colored ones, I believe, are mica as well, which could be either a muscovite mica, actually that color. You could check into Floggerpipe, but do a little research yourself. This is a really attractive specimen for all the colors involved. Really beautiful. Here's the pearlescent part I'm talking to you about. There's a really good view of it right there where it's kind of rounded and domed, but it's when the mica crystals grow together like that. Often you see them, flat, like a book. And in that case, the way they form, it leaves a pearlescent rounded surface. Definitely a giveaway then at that point as it being a lepidolite. All right, take advantage of this very neat size crystal cluster because it's actually, again, one of those that would draw a lot of interest because it's very colorful. Look, I could turn it like that. It's a very showy specimen in the specimen world. The way, I guess the word is aesthetic. It really shows aesthetically. Look at that. in so many different angles. You put that up, put an auction, and just watch the people bid this thing up like no tomorrow, to where I just like, wow, where's all those clients that would pay that from the, the gem collector show? Uh-huh. Well, you guys, I've got you spoiled because I'm offering stuff like this for, forget the crazy auction price. How about this? $88. $88. That's a good value. Now, let's see. Yeah, I better get going here. I have a really rare opportunity. Since all of you understood and understand the Japanese rainbow garnets better than the live show, I think I can offer the opportunity at selling those better with you guys. Yep. And you can appreciate them better because what I decided to do is I decided to actually sell a faceted rainbow garnet, which I only had a few of those left, and they're very, very desirable. So instead of showing it, I didn't show them in the shows. At the opportunity, I'm going to give them to you, and I only showed them in the one because I said, no. Let's look at item 123 3424. 123 3424. And now let me bring this over, and 2324, is that what I said? 3424. 3424. Here is one of the nicest ones of the bunch. Did you find it? Let's see. It's an oldie but goodie, but maybe not. Here we go. So here's the info on it right there. Listen to those fingers go. So the mine closed in 05. It was only opened and discovered in 04 outside of a magnetite mine in the Nara prefecture in an island in Japan. By 2005, there were so many rockhounds. Let me know when you're done. There were so many rockhounds coming to that deposit that they closed it, had to actually started jailing trespassers. So that really is what it took to keep the people, the rockhounds, away. I mean, when you have something like this and it's basically free and it's worth so much more money, not $24 there. So he's messing with me. I know it. Boy's got a sense of humor just like that. All right, when you're done, I'll show what's worth a little bit more than $24. So they closed the availability down, but they had already gotten out the majority of the deposit. So it's not like there's much of anything left. And I was able many years ago to get in on a purchase of these. And I am so fortunate to still have them. I mean, I had the crystals, I still have some. And you done? This is absolutely world class. Absolutely. And so it wasn't a mine, it was a deposit outside of a magnetite mine that someone discovered, and it was only about 25 feet long, maybe 6 feet deep, maybe 3 feet high. And it was the finest rainbow garnet in the world. Came out of this little area. And so there is no more. What's available is only what's in the market. And the faceted ones are impossible because you have to take a really nice crystal. You have to ruin the crystal by cutting it and fastening it. And to do that, because of the way it is, the light disperses and is created in the rainbow garnet, you can only cut it in a certain way. All right, you ready, boss? Take a look at this. Take a look at this jewel. Now, get it off of that. And let me get some of the dust off from the rocks. Okay, here we have, look at this. Look at this. Look at, you know what? That's called static electricity, folks. So that's another property. I actually have my voltmeter here. I was going to do a piezoelectric educational thing for you, but we're not going to have the time. We'll have to save that craziness for another day. All right, look at this. Here, there is a face of blue on this that is one of the most outstanding representations of iridescence I've ever seen. This garnet on every face and side has a reflection. Look at that. That is some of the finest I have ever seen in any of these, whether they were faceted or just the faces of a crystal. Each and every, there it is. Look at that. Look at that one. And even the beveled edge has its own play of color. Boom. You just have to catch the light. And of course, we have, depending not so much on the wavelength of light, but the angle. Look at the colors in that one. So what it is it's light passing through two very slight different gradients of garnet. Remember we talked about the various types of garnet? Well, this passes through a garnet that has a, look at, there's that reflection there. A slightly different composition between two different layers, creating a dispersion of light. And look at even in the mirror reflection, you can get other colors. Look at, there's the blue. There's the blue I'm talking about. Now, I wouldn't know how to probably find that again exactly, but I know that that is the predominant look on the surface is what you're seeing right there. That is a very valuable look. And so they have to cut it because the color forms more along with the crystal face, the particular crystal faces, and cut properly. Look at even the crystal on the facet on the very end of this piece, the color coming from it. And when done correctly, which this one appears to be, you have color on every face. And all those little white, that's junk sticking to it from static electricity, from it being charged. This, being over 2 carats, is one of the largest faceted ones I've ever had. Because remember, you know, you have to start with a crystal a lot bigger than that. And it'll have a nice translucency. And look at all the colors. This is one of the most vibrant ones. Let me put it in my hand. You get an idea of size. And I mean, here with my human eye looking at it, the plays of color are phenomenal, and that are radiating out of this. And the more different angles of light coming at it, the more it can handle, the prettier it is. Sunlight being the best. All right, so I'll let that spin for just a minute as I get the big discounting calculator out, because this one, yeah, $250 a carat was and is certainly the value of this, if not far exceeding more than that. If you can even find anything like this, I'd be curious to know, like Miss Barbara, she let me know, Miss Barbara, if you find anything less expensive than what I'm going to offer this one for. The market on these, I don't even know what it is, because I just don't, there's no go find another one. So there's not a find another one to have. But let's do this for a phenomenal deal. If you could spend it at $200 a carat, it's going to be $430, but you know how I like to round down. Let's make it $398. So you know, if I'm not making it $380 something, you know I've got that down as low as I can go. $398 on that. And that is tooth money. That's why I need, Santa didn't bring me my 2 front teeth, so I got to raise it somehow. Take advantage of that jewel. You will not be disappointed, not only in looking at it, but look at the purple. Look at the purple. See, I just picked it up randomly. Look at that color. Like I said, you will not be disappointed, because you'll pick it up and you'll see something that look at that. Look at that now, Chuck. Look at that. You'll see something that I didn't even show you. because that's what this garnet can do. All right, grab it. Now, let me see. Oh, it's a clock. Okay, tick, 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 tick. I have these amazing, amazing pieces behind me, including. Okay, let me get this one in here. Now, we're going to try to do fluorescence again. Item 123, 8824. 123, 8824. Now, as I remove that jewel of the Nile, jewel of Japan, I should say, take a look. Put this one right in front of you, right as we keep on talking, and boom, green. Always difficult to shoot, but when you have extra light like I just did, let me actually pull this further back then, because I see that actually is bringing out more of the actual color. And so there you go. So this color you see in here, that is the color of, look at the size of this crystal. That is one big, beautiful cube. Now, the amazing thing about this fluorite, out of all the different fluorites I've seen, it is some of the most fluorescent, and it is a blue, fluorescent blue. Now, I'm going to shut this light off. Let me see. I'm going to try to see if I can bring out the blue. Look at, okay, yeah. That's what I said. This is so fluorescent of a fluorite that the blue you're seeing, that's the actual fluorescence to it. Here's another fluorescent light. Look at that. It's a little different wavelength of this, but it doesn't matter. Both of them. See that? The fluorescence you're seeing, it's not a, black lights don't like shine and make something blue due to the light being the color that it is. It is only this color because of the fluorescence. Like, see, I'm shining on the white. See that white blob? It doesn't make it any bluer, but I shine it on a green fluorite, and look at that. Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you mean. That one does glow. That one glows. That one glows. And look, I'm even at a distance. So fluorescent light doesn't carry that far unless the mineral is extremely fluorescent. Oh, look, yeah, hold on. You're right. There is particular ones. Look at this one right there. Look at that. You know, they can, sometimes if you take the light away, if they still glow or change, they can be triboluminescent, phosphorescent, all kinds of other stuff. So you can see, if you want something that is a real showpiece, when you turn off the lights in your fluorescent display and turn on the UV lights, this would be an amazing one for you. It goes all blue. Now look at the face of this. As I turn this back on, you can actually see genuine color. And look at the clarity. Now, what I want to show is the phantom portion of this, how there are phantoms. So let's just look at maybe this one. And you can see, yeah, you see the other, I don't have a third hand to show you, but you can see, you can probably even see it without this. In the corners, you can see where a cube has grown. There we go, you can see, and another cube has grown around it. So that gives you that phantom look. Let's look at this big one. Here you go. There's a phantom line in the big one. And I noticed, oh, there's the real big one. Goodness. Look at how, what a beautiful crystal. How does Mother Nature just do all those things? So Madagascar isn't known for, of all the minerals Madagascar has, it is not known for mineral specimens in the case of mineral specimens regarding fluorite. Fluorite, yeah. Here we go. Look at this one. Here, let me get my point. So this was a relatively different, unique find at the Amarani Mania mine, and kind of unique for Madagascar. There we go. You can see the phantom in that one. These are just really well shaped, classic isometric fluorite cubes with phantom formations, and a lot of fun. Now this one will self-display, I believe, on its own. Yep, there it goes. Famous last words as it falls down or something. But no, so you can see as it sits flat on the table here that You don't even need a stand for it, so that's kind of neat. Let me show you the bottom. It is cut flat, and the back. Let me see. Was there anything unique about the back? I can't remember if I fluorescent lighted it or what it did, but there's the showpiece is the front. And let me see what kind of deal I can work with and offer. So, yeah, why not? Let's make this at the really the best opportunity I can, and I'll do it for $348. $348. So obviously, this is a cabinet size. Look at that. Look how big that is. So if you really want something showy or collect fluorites, that is one for you. So let me put that right there, and I will do a razzle dazzle on you and move it by. I guess the best thing is to say, I'll be right back. Never have I showed you a bunch of marshmallows at one time and ask money for them, because this is one of the nicknames for this particular type of formation is a marshmallow calcite. One of the words that they also nickname this is cave calcite. I'm not sure why, because this, I don't support anything coming out of caves unless they're previously, are mining for particular minerals. But I can see why it might get a moniker of that type of moniker because of the way it's formed. But even in a cave, and I have been in many, and have seen many, many different calcite formations, they don't form like this. There's much more type of regular formation to the pattern of deposition of calcite in caves than this. So plus it's a different type of calcite altogether. So look, if we look close at this, you can see they almost look like eggs, which Chuck would know. We were just talking about eggs, and I told him I should have asked him to bring some more of his farm fresh eggs, especially the price of eggs these days. But yeah, that's kind of neat. But what it is the different layers of calcitic growth that are deposited. And you can see actual crystal growth. Now, calcite is one of the minerals that will grow crystals at a ambient temperature, room temperature. And these are a very nice, clean color. In other words, a lot of these can have a lot of iron oxide staining and whatnot that might take away from the aesthetics of it. That looks, you can see with the whole outer large size, how large it starts off, and through different methods gets and is deposited bigger and bigger. I would imagine there are portions of a type of cave formation or any type of mine formation over time. If there's limestone involved, you can get these type of concretion type of growths, which they're more of that type of growth than they are crystalline growth. So in looking at this, but there also though is signs of crystallization here. I think this has been created by several different methods of deposition, which is possible with calcite. That's why you have this other crystals. And you know what calcite is known to do? You know what Shawn loves to do is it fluorescent? And does your fluorescent light work? Oh. I would need a darker room, but it looked like it was lightly pink fluorescence on that. Anyway, I have a super opportunity for a very unique, unusual type of collector specimen. And how about this? Well, yeah, how about it? $88. Only $88 on that guy. And I can assure you that type of formation is not easy to find, because it is, the other thing, like I said, I like is that stark, even color of off-white, and then that whole marshmallow effect type look. I even don't mind when I see some of the calcites with part of the eggshell, so to speak, peeled back, because it helps me understand how it formed better, and that's always a good thing. Now, let me show you item number 123, 8024. And this is, one of my favorite minerals. I don't know why. I have always really enjoyed celestine. Now, if you hear it called celestite, that wouldn't be totally incorrect, because even you can see here, one of the old spellings, celestite. It's kind of like spessartite versus spessartine, accepting spessartine as the correct nomenclature, same thing, but the other is fine as well if you use celestite instead of celestine. Now, getting to the material, this one crystal, look at this. If nothing else, I would love to take this apart, if I didn't want to keep it as a crystal specimen, and look at the size of that. Look at the clarity to that. I think that would cut the largest celestine crystal, faceted stone that I would have ever seen. That would be really, really nice, high grade. And I know, look at that. Look at the size of that cut. That the value of the stone I would cut would far exceed the value of this entire specimen. Okay, so this material, celestine, is, and if it wasn't today and another day, I would get you out. I still have to show you this monstrous size geode I have of this material, but I'll do it when, maybe for the next show. I'll do it for the next show when I have a little bit more time on the front and back side. So you have a lot of other crystals here that are still of that kind of facet grade quality. This material is only found near the shore of one particular place, and they've had to keep mining further and further back from the shore from where they do. There's not much else but the celestine in the where they mine it, and it's in this. Wow, look at that. I thought that was so clear that I didn't even see the crystal face to that. There it is, right there. That was like a mirror. And this is stunning clarity to those large crystals. So yeah. Anyway, wow. I can offer this at a much better opportunity than I thought. Let's do that for only 100 and let's see, 100 yeah, excuse my brain here trying to do some computations. Let's do only $168 on that. Only $168 on that. And again, imagine, I just think of the value of the stone, and not supposed to look at it that way, but I do know that is one way to look at it, and the stone I could facet out of that would be $1,000. I don't even know. I haven't even priced any faceted celestine, but I know there's a market for those type of items out there. Now, speaking about a market for something different, item 1178824. 1178824. Take a look at this. Brucite. Brucite, yeah. So, again, in doing that auction thing, I saw one of these, and the description given by a very well-known mineral dealer of the yellow brucites that came coming out of Kia Sophia is there's no more coming out. That they found one pocket of it, as like we thought when they found it years ago. And this is about as good as the quality as it gets, maybe a little bit more intense. I had some faceted stones that I had sold, and I can't get any of that kind of quality anymore. And I sold all of them that I had. I didn't even keep one back for myself. I finally realized I kept selling off some here and there, and then boom, left myself without one. But that happens. So look at this. This is that lemon brucite. Brucite normally, until this discovery of this lemon quality material, was often found a bluish gray color in not with any, completely opaque, and it was used for industrial purposes because it's a magnesium hydroxide. It's a newer discovery, and you can see the pearlescent surface on this as well. There you go. You can see it across the top, kind of like the lepidolite looked like. So as far as the matrix, you never see it much better. It's always in this type of matrix. The material is never really any more crystalline than what you see. You see that kind of pearlescent surface, just like the lepidolite. That's as good as it gets. So this actually stands up to be really nice. The only time I ever had anything really unique about it was I had a piece of yellow brucite. It was perfectly round, and there was white matrix around it. It looked like a fried egg. It really did. It was great. It sold right away because of that reason. All right. Price on this, I'm going to discount it, put a big sale price on it. So grab it. It was $118. So how would you like this now for only $77? $77. Big discount. Now, let me keep up with the time for you guys. My goodness, I have not gotten anywhere in what I had hoped to get to here. I still have that huge ruby crystal. If anybody wants, it's really a museum-sized piece, if you remember it. But let me feature real quickly a couple other items, though. Let's look at item 121-6524. 121-6524. Now, time restraints. I just need to kind of show and go on some of these. But look at what I have here. Ha! Look at that. A Podparacha parcel. No one's ever seen this. And when you look at this in person, let me see if this lights. Yeah, I was going to say they're much peachier. They have a wonderful peach. Well, you can see that. You can see that at the different angles because, of course, again, sapphire is dichroic. It'll change color with the way you turn it. But these are not like, oh, those look like pink. No, these are obvious, exactly spot on in the range of Podparacha color. So here is 3 matching. Imagine that. No heat. I had these actually cut from rough Umba sapphires I had gotten a long time ago. This is old parcel material here and had those cut. Look at that. Look at that. So anyway, this is your opportunity to get in on a parcel of 3 stones, ridiculously priced, and I'm not sure why or how I got there. But let's do this. There's 72 points, so they're almost a quarter carat each. You know in your mind how much these would be worth. So when I tell you that those are just gorgeous. Wow. Offer all three for only, my goodness, $88. $88. That kind of sounds kind of ridiculous, but I'm doing it. $88 on those, especially because they're matched, you know. And I hadn't done that on purpose. I just happened to, yeah. Let's look at item 121-7124. 121-7124. We're looking at Umbas. Let's look at another one here. Look at this purple, beautiful purple Umba. No heat, cut from rough on this. And I'm going to sale price this one. I am going to sale price this one. How's that? Believe it or not, because I sold off some other parcels that went with them. Boy, what a pretty stone. And that would allow me to sell this one for $58, only $58. So 47 point, you know what? Let's do this. Make it $48. $48. There we go. Find it at home. And I don't know if I'll even ever offer those Podparachas again at all, at any price. I think those are something I could keep and not regret. Now, take a look real quick. Let me show you. Item number 123-1524. 123-1524. For you gem lovers out there, I'm not leaving you out. Take a look at those. Look at those sphenes. Those are a gorgeous matched pair of sphene. Beautiful stone. I love sphene. Sphene is still one of my favorite stones. I still think sphene is underpriced in the market. I think it is a wonderful, wonderful gem. And I've always loved sphene. So how about this? All of you should love it too, because I am offering both of those stones. Let's see, we have a total weight on those. We could put up there at 2.06 carats, I think it looks like. So yeah, 2.06 carats. I think that's right. Yeah, 2.06 carats. Let's do this. If we do it for, wow, okay, yeah. 450, okay, $68. I don't know how much that comes out of carat. $68, so that is $30 and change per carat. Wow. Wow. I haven't seen much sphene offered, period, let alone for a price per carat like that. Now, let me show you another opportunity. 120, 40, 24. 120, 40, 24. Some of these are specials that you're getting to see at a discounted price from any time you would have seen them before. If you know what I mean. Look at those 3 tourmalines. This is an amazing opportunity. And 3 stones that are all in the same color range. Now, I checked them because they look just like econite, if you remember what econite was. Look at that. Look at how pretty that is. And look at that one. I don't know. I should probably check those because they would be worth a whole lot more if there was something else. So anyway, selling those as tourmaline. Let me just stick with the tourmaline. That makes sure that you get them at a deal. And so let's see. Oh, here it is. Okay, yep. So instead of the $118, how would you like all 3 of those stones for only $78? $78. Let me see. Three. No, you know what? $68. $68. I'm in a sell it move. Now, I only have a few moments left with you. Let me show you item number 122.9924. 122.9924. Check this out. Look at this opal pendant opportunity. Excuse all the dirt, but that's the way, you know, this shows about from the ground up. Look at that opal. Now that looks like the back. Look at the front. Look at that opal with all those colors. It is wire wrapped. Not by Andrew, but it certainly is beautiful enough. Indeed. And I have this at a you know what? Let's do this. Forget we're looking for the bag for it. I'm just going to throw up a price, and you know it's going to be a deal. This entire thing made up, ready to go, $88. $88, opal included. Opal included. I had some Native American sterling silver pieces, but I'm going to wait on those because so I can give you a little bit more explanation with them. And let me just see if there is one more here. I want to show you item 115.9324. 115.9324. This was another one overlooked because this is a stunning, look at this, a beautiful pink tourmaline, facet grade, but look at the end, look at the green. Yeah, isn't that neat? Yeah. That's how you get the watermelon tourmalines, except this is kind of the reverse. Normally you have the green to the outside, and this is the the pink, but look at the clarity of the pink, the tourmaline in itself. So really fantastic clarity. And what do we say about looking from the end of a tourmaline? It's a trillion shape. In other words, a triangle with rounded sides, as you can see. So that would make a just a interesting crystal on its own, let alone with that really beautiful other color within it. And yeah, okay, so I just found the bag to the opal pendant. Here it was, minimum, MIN, $258. Well, I missed that by a little bit, didn't I? Okay, well, that's all right. So grab it while you can. Okay, this tourmaline, okay, so, oh, I got the wrong tourmaline bag. That was the 3 tourmaline bag. Here we go. Ready, set, and then we'll have to leave you. So that way, I'm going to make this a really good deal, and it was $88. I'm going to make this one. See right there, 80 minimum, $88, $48, only $48. That's how Shawn rocks. I'll be right back with the trivia. Something a little different in the trivia today. Okay, so, you know, everything as far as trivia always has to do with rocks, minerals, gems, crystals, chemistry, things that we are learning and or have talked about or alluded to. Now, I was going to do a what am I, but I couldn't put enough other items together, but I didn't want to miss out on doing at least one of them today. So this is a what am I? This is your first, so to speak, question of the trivia. What am I? All right, that's enough, Latif. Latif helping you out, but I guess at home you can always zoom in. So I just want to give you a moment to study it because I may not be able to pull it back up for you next week to explain it, show it to you. But there's a giveaway in there if you can spot it, or that would help. So, okay. Now you can come to me. That's question number 1. And Latif, he's not sure, and Chuck wasn't sure either, and Asif didn't know. Asif had a good answer, but it wasn't it, and Raven didn't know. But it is something that I would doubt it if none of you hadn't seen it. Or let me put it this way. I would have almost bet that every single one of you watching have seen that before. So let me just leave it at that. Okay, that is question number 1. That's the only what am I you're getting today. So it was in picture form. Question number 2. What? And now, Miss Penny, this might be kind of geared to your level of knowledge, since you seem to have become an expert on something in particular, but I think it is also a good, relevant question to know, considering how valuable gem silica is. Yes, it's a gem silica question, and I can't help but to say, yes, it's a little bit for Penny, but it is in general for all of you, because all of you actually should know and be familiar with gem silica. I got a quick gem silica story. A dealer that works these shows that some of you have probably been to, travels the country. In the corner of his showcase, he had multiple, probably a total of about maybe 6 to 8 pounds of gem silica veins. I mean, it was like mostly all gem silica with chrysocolla. Beautiful. When I first saw the clump together, he had a particular price on it. And of course, I didn't have the money to buy it. I think it was around $10,000. About 5 years later, he told me he sold one small piece for that much, and that he wouldn't take 10 times that much for everything that he had. And I don't blame him. I don't blame him. He had that much. And that was, so if you ever wonder, you know, these some mineral specimens, gem specimens, if they go up in value, oh, yes, tremendously. And I'm not talking about just material that can end up cutting gemstones. I'm talking about simple mineral specimens have gone, well, my own personal experience, as you can see, none of my income or money has ever gone into the bank, into any kind of money-making vehicle. No. For me personally, this is where it's gone back to. And for me personally, I would not change a thing from what I have done with that investment vehicle, put it that way, in my own personal experience. So, yeah. All right, gem silica question. Here you go. Number 2. Okay. What 2 Arizona mines are known to produce some of the finest gem silica in the world? What 2 Arizona mines are known to produce some of the finest gem silica there is? I mean, it's not found in too many other places, but 2 Arizona mines. That's the question. Question number 3. So you get, you know, a hard one, then you get an easy one. Here's the easy one. What shape and number of sides does a tourmaline crystal have when looking at it from the end? And alternately, part B to the question is, what shape and number of sides does a topaz crystal in general have from looking at it from the end of the crystal? In other words, the C-axis. The C-axis of a crystal is the long axis going down the length of a crystal. So when you take it, the crystal, and turn it up and look at it down the C-axis, what shape and how many sides does a tourmaline in crystal have in general? And what shape and number of sides does a topaz crystal have most commonly in general? Okay, that's it. And I have, again, I love being back here. I love being back here. And I look forward to every week being back here. So, but again, I need and rely on all of your support. Thank all of you for all of last year. And thank you actually for supporting me through this end of the year and what we are doing here with the end, and wishing Asif all the best with his venture as well. And that's what how we operate here. We are a team, and we all wish the best for every other member on the team. So I thank all of you for your part also. But I need your continued support all through 2025. God bless all of you. Thank you, all of you. And from my standpoint here in the South, bring on the snow. Sorry, Miss Cindy. Cheers. See you next week.